Hey everyone, my name is Chris Lambert, and on this channel we talk Kanye West. And today we're going to go through Kanye's tweets because he had a ton of them, and just providing some of the context around them. And Team Kanye Daily had a lot of information that they provided, and just kind of giving you more of a centralized place about what some of these pictures that Kanye tweeted are, and how they connect to things from the past that we may have known. So first we have, it's Friday Yay, and it's a video of Kanye in like some kind of golf cart, and he gets out as the camera's going and starts like dancing alongside the carts, and you see the kids get out and start dancing with him, which is pretty funny as well. And it just seems like a happy time. Kim's laughing, and the initial video is a reference to, as you can see down here, it's Friday, then Saturday, Sunday, and this guy here who's so excited gets out of the car and starts like grooving. And it's a lot like the trend from a few years ago with Drake, and when people are getting out of the car to do, what was it, the Kiki song, and they were kind of dancing alongside the car. So you have that happening here, and very enjoyable, very fun, high energy. So I'll link that down below if you want to see the original video. But Kanye just kind of referencing that was a lot of fun. And you can see here that this New York Rangers hockey jersey that he has, or hockey jersey sweatshirt, is actually, it says Wolves on the front, which is kind of cool. It's just like a custom made, I think one of a kind. Like, hell yeah. So we have that. And then what do we got up here? Oh, this Gap commercial directed by Spike Jonze, which is a very Spike Jonze-y Gap commercial. And there was actually an article from 2005 that talks about it, the Pardon Our Dust spots. So you can see Kanye said that it's the Gap tested this commercial made by Spike Jonze, but never released it nationally. I thought he said that never released. Anyway, it only played in a few markets. And you can see that this writer here, Seth, is kind of unhappy about the wasted spot and what it means for, God, I am so pale, what it means for the Gap, and where Gap was at even in 2005 is kind of this like dying brand. But you can see down here, incidentally, there's an even better version of the ad than the one the Gap ended up barely using. Hollywood blogger Jeffrey Wells found an alternate discarded option in which the soundtrack is not an innocuous pop jangle, Don't Stand Still, but rather Edvard Grieg's In the Hall of the Mountain King. And that's exactly what this is. This is the In the Hall of the Mountain King version. So Kanye, again, with that impeccable taste, going with the better one rather than the basic one. So that commercial is very fun. It's just a lot of destruction. I feel like the only reason Gap wouldn't have gone with it is because there is in-store chaos, like people throwing shirts, pushing mannequins over, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like corporate mentality, they see something like that and they go, if this is popular, people are going to come into our store and push over mannequins because it's what they did in the commercial, right? So then they just scrap it all together, even though, are people really going to push over the mannequins? Probably not. And still, the commercial would have been exciting. It was cool to watch. And then here was kind of the start of the trend. You can see Kanye 19 hours ago tweeted this, and it was 3 hours later he kind of went on his Twitter binge. But this is a Louis Vuitton jacket, and it's actually from a Virgil Abloh show, not a Virgil Abloh, a Louis Vuitton show that Virgil Abloh, of course, as head of Louis Vuitton menswear, was actually putting on just the other day. So it was a showcase of like the new line. But there was some controversy around it because I guess there's another designer that said like half of the looks were stolen from him, which controversial. And I guess Virgil has been accused of this in the past, and he just said he likes to reference or put a showcase on trends that he's seeing, which is kind of a strong and weak defense at once, because there is a place for reference in art, right? Not everything is plagiarism, not everything is theft, not everything is stolen. Like, artists borrow from each other a lot, but there's some blatant things here that you're just like, really, dude, this is what you're doing. Here, if you want to see the story about it, yeah. Walter Van Buren, knock, blast Virgil Abloh, Louis Vuitton as copycats. And somebody else had posted one of the photos around it. I'm not going to find it. Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, see? Like, this is this dude in 2016. This is Virgil in 2020. So, on the one hand, reference, yes. On the other hand, like, way too close in terms of, like, style and concept. In the commercial world, probably. Yeah, probably. So, there's that going on. um, let's see. Going back. But that jacket, Kanye liked it. Love this jacket. I need to see this in real life. And then here we have Kanye talking about this, and I'm guessing you can see from this photo up here and a couple more photos, Kanye's been working on this kind of underground living space. It's kind of an open concept. It's based on the Terrell idea of light kind of coming in underground in the Terrell crater. So Kanye's trying to think of a habitable Terrell crater, and has been working on it for a few years. And you can see that there's kind of this large opening here, and that there's these different rooms going on. And this has evolved over time. He's been posting kind of concept images like this every few years. And even like last month, he had posted kind of a board that had a lot of the concept art and mock-ups from what this would look like inside. And here he's talking about a boulder for a door. And I'm guessing like you can have the boulder, I don't know, there, and then it moves or swings. I don't know if it would actually be like an active mechanic, but he said trying to figure out how to do the Indiana Jones boulder as a door in real life. And if you don't know the reference for that, I had tweeted it, but it looks like you can't find it. Just the famous Indiana Jones ball rolling behind him in the temple, and he has to dive out of the way at the last minute. And this is another mock-up from that art. And then here we go over to Team Kanye Daily for some help on things. This is just them retweeting everything. Come on. Okay. The boulder chase in Indiana Jones. They link that there. Oh, no, they don't have it. So it looks like I'm not the only one that had no idea what this is. But it's just some kind of jacket from something. See, this is something that I got to interview Joe Perez, who you might have been aware of like he was posting a lot of older photos from work that he had done with Kanye when he was part of the Donda creative team way back when. He had worked on the Cruel Summer cover art and a lot of stuff with Kanye. He also used to run Kanye's blog. And yeah, the old school Kanye blog. He said that he would go to the library in Rhode Island and just take books out, like all these classic books, and that had photos of architecture, art, like furniture, all sorts of things, just like ideas, bursting with ideas and design ideas. And he would just scan things and send them over to Kanye, or even mail Kanye the books. And that all the time he and Kanye were kind of in this constant dialogue of finding materials and just photos for inspiration and sending them back and forth to each other. And it seems like that kind of thing has persisted to this day, where Kanye still gets a lot of inspiration from looking at these books that have older pieces in them, or just interesting designs from different eons, different eras, and kind of gets to go back and draw inspiration for it. And this is something from, I guess, Terrell, some exhibit that he does. Terrell is the guy that Kanye's kind of been enamored with for the last few years. He even donated, I think it was $10 million to help Terrell with his crater. And this seems to be something above ground, but Terrell's famous for working with lights and color theory, and really creating these spaces that are bursting with color and light that cause you to have more of a visceral experience when you're encountering them. So we have that going on, and then you have this color study, which just looks to be like two things of burnt wood, which Team Kanye Daily had some info on that up here. Yeah. Linda Bengel's Forced Bunch 1993 glazed ceramic sculpture. See, this is the kind of thing like that Joe Perez and Kanye would go over. They just look at a sculpture book, right? And find these interesting sculptures from different years that may not be popular, may not be well known now, but are from figures that in those worlds and spaces have done work that's notable. And then Kanye, just being kind of the devourer of this kind of content that he is aware of these things. So we have that. And then we have constant growth and development. And his focus here was just like the color study, looking at the light and the dark, maybe this, whatever that is, how you call it, a little bit of metallic. And then constant growth and development, 700 V3 knit plus foam. One colorway approved, model approved. This seems to be an early version of the V3. Not the final version that we've ended up seeing, but just that initial design with these gaps on the side and this kind of foam body that's containing the rest of the shoe, which, there's a blue one of these coming out soon that is just fire. I can't wait to have that one. And then here we have Eddie Murphy and Beverly Hills Cop, which, Kanye's always been a Eddie Murphy fan, like huge Eddie Murphy fan. And I just dropped a reference to The Golden Child, which you might remember from the song Gone. Kanye references like Sweet Brother Noomsay, which is from that movie, but it's another Eddie Murphy moment in quotes. So Kanye just saying Eddie Murphy's the GOAT. You have the Yakima Valley College shirt here, which again would just be from one of those, I'm guessing, like books of interesting like clothes from like 70s, 80s, 90s, just this vintage wear that stands out and is in a collection of clothing that Kanye looks through, starts flipping through, and gets inspired by. Here, just an early design of a shoe. I don't know if this is a new kind of foam runner or a new kind of slide, something. If it's Kanye related at all, it looks very Kanye-like, right? But maybe it's not, and I just don't know any better. And Team Kanye Daily hasn't posted anything about it either, so then we have this, which another one of those vintage kind of jackets, I'm guessing. I don't think this is Tilly here, Gap hoodie still orange from your spray tan. That's pretty good. But just kind of like an older jacket, still dirty. Yeah, no updates here from them about what that would be. And then here, this looks like something else from his underground plan, like how water would get into a space. So you can see here that there's this water on the left, it would go down the slide, and then there's water down here, and you have this other area, but I have no idea what these things are. I don't know if that's like supposed to be a walkway, if this is like a lid and there's light that comes down here or air that comes down here, what this is, but some kind of design element. And then here, just Kanye sketch for some pants. This says Yeezy Season 6. I don't know if that's right or not. What's that? Huh. Interesting. But there we have some pants. Oh my God. Just go back to Kanye. What do we have here? Yeah, another one of these like old school things. So this seems to be from a website. You have Mushrow at vintage/Mushrow. I don't know if that's supposed to be mushroom and it's vintage mushroom. I tried looking up the site and couldn't find anything. Yeah. But yeah, you can just see Kanye kind of looking at these vintage pieces for inspiration. And then he's using the dove emoji again, and this is back to the underground space. And you can see it's from 31/7/20, so very recent. And it's just entrance, and it looks like either that's water or the light opening. There's a bed right there. WC, I think, is water closet. And then it says slide to arena, which like a slide to an arena seems like an interesting design concept, right? Like, how do you get back up there? Is there like a rope ladder to get back up? A slide that you have to just climb back up? And then you have these right here, which is kind of a old school pants. I had something for it. Yeah. Jean Paul Gaultier AW 1997 Fight Racism pants, of all things. Which it's interesting that it's Fight Racism when it's very like skinheady. um, and then here, Herzog, and it's just kind of an entryway, and Team Kanye Daily has more of this. Herzog de Meuron designed a motorway chapel named Otto near Andier, Switzerland. So I guess you drive through it. That's interesting. But Herzog de Meuron, you may remember from, what is it, Kids See Ghosts? On the song Kids See Ghosts, he references like, Switzerland, not Miami, right? And you can see that they're based in Basel, Switzerland, rather than Miami. So Kanye likes them as an architecture group, it seems, and just kind of shouting out their work. And then we go back to this, which just seems like some pants that have inspired him and some shoes that have inspired him. I'm now trying to think if those are like Yeezy season pants that I've just never been aware of, but I don't think so. And this seems to be like an initial design for the foam runner that we ended up getting. I don't know if anybody linked a picture of the foam runner down here. Nah. Okay. And then Vision Streetwear. Vision was a skateboarding company that was really popular in the mid 1980s. And so they launched Vision's streetwear brand, making clothing and later shoes, as well as shifting targeting to include the BMX industry. So just one of the old school shirts. Again, Kanye taking inspiration from a lot of this Vision wear. So this photo here was kind of a mystery because it was on this mood board here that Kanye had tweeted, right down here at number 10, and nobody could really make out what the photo was because these things were all pretty apparent, like Harley Davidson logos, just the world, United States with West on it, Jesus, 46th president of the United States, a dove with an olive branch, just peace, baptism, etc., etc. But this was confounding and nobody really had an idea of what it was, but it's just a van with Kanye 2020 spray painted on it, which of course Kanye would like to see. And then here he's using the monkey face as an emoji, and you can see this bag, which the colors are like pretty chippy as a packaging, but this was the West Day Ever logo that got branded. You can see down here, Josh Gerben, Kanye West has filed new trademark applications for West Day Ever and a logo that looks like a Y. The application were filed with the USPTO on June 26th, the same day that the Gap announced a partnership with his company Yeezy LLC. So it just looks like maybe the packaging that's going to be used for some of the Gap orders or some of the moving forward Yeezy items. And then here, color study, again, second time you had posted color study, you could just see different colors on different clothing. And just again, Kanye's like how many images he has and how visual he is when it comes to style and aesthetic. But I also think it's a good lesson in the fact that like Kanye just isn't sitting there going like, I'm a genius, I'm a genius, I'm a genius, I'm a genius. Ha ha, I have it. Kanye is sitting there devouring information and has been for years on just different styles, different art, different architecture, the same way that he did with music and sampling, right? Kanye's just going through records, listening to music, getting the idea for samples and structures. And the more you input, the easier it is for you to output, because even if you're not consciously reviewing everything, you're forming connections in your subconscious between these things. So the more movies you watch, the better understanding you have about where a movie should go or what the beats are for a movie. You just get a feel for what's going to work and what doesn't work. The more music that you make, the more music you listen to. You need that balance between input and output. And the more you input and the more you innovate and try to iterate on these ideas that you come up with, your initial ideas are never going to be good. Kanye's first Yeezy season was roasted back in 2011, like hit hard, but he just kept going and listening to feedback and doing things like this, where you can just see how much information he's taking in to reach the point where he's making clothing that people enjoy and that is referential to some of the things that are historical, but maybe not like outright theft of them Virgil. But it's just interesting to get a little peek behind the scenes at just like how detailed and how focused he is on all of this stuff, where his camera roll is just filled with all of these photos. And you can just imagine him sitting there looking through them, studying them, figuring out, okay, what is it that I like about this? What is it that I don't like about this? So keep that in mind with whatever endeavor that you have, that you really need that input of how are others doing this? What made them successful? What do I agree with? What don't I agree with? And just letting that fuel you and knowing that the more you do that, the better the results are going to be when you put it to work. Okay. Off my soapbox. Important shape. I really don't know. Well, I guess it's just an important shape. It looks like some kind of old school shoe. I don't know if this is something that's another reference or if this was something that they had tried doing for one of the Yeezys, and this is a behind the scenes look. No Team Kanye Daily answer here. And then this jacket, which is a pretty cool jacket. It looks like something it's a Prada vintage 90s silver jacket, which it looks like something that one of Mr. Freeze's men would have worn in like the Batman 1997 movie that had Arnold playing Mr. Freeze. Like, this absolutely looks like a coat he would have worn or one of his henchmen would have worn. So we have that, and then we have just different Yeezy designs, it looks like, but they're kind of weird, right? Like, the pixels on them are very off, and I don't know if that's like an aesthetic choice, if this is coming from something, like what program is used. It's a little beyond me, but I also don't know, like, the color palette's weird too, right? Maybe those are labels on the different clothes. I don't know what to make of that, but certainly probably has to do with like Yeezy and Gap. And then here, we'll get more details on this later, but Kanye had tweeted this photo of these Wolverine-like. I'd gone with Bumblebee just because of the shape of the shoe, right? It kind of looks car-like in general, and you have that yellow, but Wolverine is probably a better comparison just with the yellow, black, and kind of green, blue. But we have yet to see a Yeezy be this extreme in color, I think. I mean, some of the 350s, but the 700s have been pretty, like, safe in terms of colors. To see something this audacious or outrageous is refreshing, because I think most of us are getting kind of tired of the earth tones that Kanye has been using for a lot of Yeezys over the last like 2 years, and are really hoping for more of splashes of colors. So this is a step in that direction. And then here, when me and my mom lived in China for a year, she had the fresh jacket with the braids, fresh jacket, absolutely. You can see little Kanye back there, and them just eating a meal. There was an article that I found when Kanye West lived in China, and you can see that it actually has this photo and a few others on it. Loading. I do not want to join your newsletter. So this is one of the photos, and this was posted 2018. There it is, Kanye on the stairs. Update, I'd originally written here that the listings publication, did it have a website archive? Yeah. And that's it. Those are the only 3 photos that we get from his time there, but Kanye West in China. I think he was there for a year, as his mom taught. Had spent a while living in Nanjing when his mother Donda was a lecturer at Nanjing University in 1987 as part of a Fulbright scholarship. Yeah. So that's cool. And then we have this, Terrellians. So Kanye's obsessed with James Turrell, and he's very obsessed with aliens. So calling them Terrellians is a pretty nice matchup. And yeah, I don't know if this is, again, like a replacement or some in between like a 350 and a foam runner kind of thing. Something that's made for comfort, like a slipper or a slide, but has more of the aesthetic of a shoe and the silhouette of a shoe. But I really like the look of it. I'm trying to think of like me walking around in public with it. It would get dirty fast, right? But I like the idea of it, and I'm interested in seeing more about it. And I want to wear that. That's what I said, and I still mean it 16 hours later. So we have that. And then manga all day. And this is what I'm talking about with like Kanye going through these books, right? Like this just looks to be a book of manga figures and like it's not a statue, but the ones that you can build yourself. Like all of these parts kind of come together and you put it together, or just a figure you can buy and put on display. But Kanye's flipping through this book of just Gundam manga toys, right? Which I don't know if this is Unicorn. No, that doesn't look like Unicorn, does it? But definitely feels Gundam-y. Yeah, and he's been obsessed with Japan for a long time. He's talked before about how he likes anime, how he likes manga. So yeah, just cool to see Gundam get a little bit of a shout out there. And now here he says Cody, and this is kind of cool. You can see more of these shoe halos that come from. I'm wondering if somebody was going to, yeah, the Forbes. There was that picture from the Forbes article that was like really awesome. There was just all the shoes. I think Team Kanye Daily had it, right? Yeah, here. All the shoes around him. And it seems Kanye really liked that visual, or maybe they were already doing it, but you can see that he's kind of gone back to that and the different shoes kind of grouped together. So here you have, you know, the 700s, here you have the 700 V3, here you have a bunch of Quantums, here you have boots. What's that? 380s maybe? Hard to see. Hard to see. Yeah, more 700 V3, whatever those are. But you can see just the array of colors that we hadn't been getting, which is nice to finally get, right? Down here, how bold the colors are. And you can see this kind of zoom in on it, like those blue 700s, like these over here. I think these were the ones in the photo that Kanye posted, but just nice. It's nice to see that they're experimenting with all of that. And then here it looks to be those like a larger zoom out. Like we had seen one of these from the close up that Kanye posted earlier, these underground areas. So this is a contour map. This would be the above ground areas here and kind of the mountains and hills out like on Kanye's ranch, I think. And it seems like you would have 4 main places here and whatever they would be doing. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 of these little sub homes with their own little offshoots. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Are they all connected? What's going on? Is this just like the start of a community? How many people could live here? All questions we don't know yet, but it seems like it's bigger than just one place at the moment, right? And looking to be kind of a development for a community. So we have that, and then coming soon. And this is definitely like a Yeezy model, right? Like those are unmistakably like Yeezy Kardashian, like Kim clothes. And then you have the Yeezys on. So is this going to be like in the Macy's Day Parade? I doubt there will be a Macy's Days Parade, but would this be part of the parade? Is it just for some campaign that's going to go along with the launch of Yeezy Gap and kind of go down the street? I don't know, but it's interesting. Is it part of the Donda movie? It's huge though. Like the people are so small and this thing is so big, but even that space in that warehouse is huge too, that they can blow that up and have that sitting there. Amazing. So that's cool. And then you can see Yeezy D Rose incoming, which I don't know what to make of these. I don't know if this is another, you can kind of see it looks like an opening here. So this would be the top of the foot and this is the side along here. If this kind of expands to fit the foot, if there's going to be more that's put outside of this, or if this is a really minimal, strange design that's more of a comfort wear again or slip-on wear again. Team Kanye Daily just had something about Derrick Rose. Yeah, Derrick Rose and his wife visited Wyoming in June. So the two have had a pretty good relationship, I feel like, over the years as Kanye started shouting Derrick Rose out and Chicago connection rights, and it seems like there's just been a lot of love between them. And then here was the last thing that he tweeted was underwater homes, and that same emoji that he had used before. To God be the glory in Jesus' name, amen. And I don't know if this is what he had posted earlier, and we're just seeing like a better look at it, because you can see it's still that rocky terrain and like definitely underground, but underwater home would be interesting. And it kind of plays back into this idea then of what we saw here. If you're underwater, okay, that's what it would be. This is the water level. Okay. And then you have water that pours down and kind of collects there, but then you have the home that's being fortified there and there. Interesting. So somebody could live here. This would kind of be the bed. You'd have water, pool, luxury, like can relax with that, but also have this other space. Interesting. Is that the slide to the arena? Huh. Where's the arena slide? So is that the boulder? Strange. And this is all... Huh. Well, we'll see what Kanye has in store. But definitely there's some details, but we don't have the full picture yet of what it's going to entail. But those are his tweets, and that's all that we know for now. It was nice to see him kind of tweet just stuff like this again, because it's always interesting to see the behind the scenes creative aspect of Kanye, because we get to hear a lot of his thoughts on subject matters these days, right? Whether it's just politics or the media or life, and those are always fascinating and interesting. But so many of us are fascinated by Kanye's like work and how he works and that aspect of Kanye, and we don't often get to see behind the scenes of that process. So whenever he's tweeting stuff like this and we're just seeing kind of a peek at all the stuff that he's working on and some of the inspiration for that stuff, it's I don't know. I always like seeing it. It's some of my favorite things. And I feel like it's been a while since we've really got like an information dump like this. So, and that's all that I got for you. And I can use some water. But what's the spiel that I give? Oh yeah, okay. If you're enjoying the channel, the easiest way to support us is to like, subscribe, and comment. Any of those things tell YouTube that this is a channel people are enjoying, so then they show it to more people, and then that's good for us. We also have a Patreon, and it has the thing that we're most well known for, which is our line-by-line lyrical analysis of Kanye's discography. Every album except Watch the Throne and Cruel Summer, analyzed like song by song, line by line. So if you have a favorite Kanye song, or even a song that you're like iffy on and wondering why people love it and you're just not there yet, our episodes will help you, I think, better love the music that you already love and better respect or appreciate the songs that you're kind of iffy on. There's over 100 episodes, and it's just $5 a month, which goes a long way to helping us, because YouTube and Patreon are the only way that we're monetizing right now. So the support is very appreciated. And the Jesus is King episodes, if you just want a taste, are still available for free on Apple and Spotify and wherever you listen to podcasts. They're even on our channel here. And then I write books. I just have this on hand all the time, but my second novel came out a couple months back. So if you want to help my literary career, you can buy either my first or second book on Amazon. There are links in the description below, and that also means a lot. Until next time, stay wavy and keep it loopy, and we'll be back to talk more Kanye very soon. Cheers.